are struggling in your relationship, in your walk with God, I want to tell you something powerful. For those who want to grow closer to God, just want to have that intimacy but are unable to, I'll tell you one thing: stop performing. Stop performing. Performance is never going to work. The reason why a lot of you don't feel close to God is because you're performing. You're pretending to be what you're not. You're pretending to feel what you don't feel. And I want to always, I've said this a lot of times in a lot of my previous videos where I say that, and I talked about this once when I talk about if you're ready to forgive, if you are struggling with to forgive, you have to bring that to God. Like, hey God, I'm struggling to forgive. Because I also said that when you do that, what you are inwardly doing, unintentionally doing, unknown to you, is that you are giving permission to God to act on your behalf. When you tell God something, you are inviting Him in that situation to act, and He will act. I promise you. And that's what has made my relationship with God very strong. That is what has drawn me closer to God. I tell God everything. And here's the part. Not just the good stuff, guys. This is the game changer. I tell God the bad stuff. I tell God when I hate somebody. I tell God when I'm angry at Him. I tell God absolutely how I feel. I tell God when I'm struggling with lust. I tell God every little thing. Like, I'm always trying to bring God into those god awful moments where the devil is just trying to tell you, like, God doesn't want to hear this. It's a lie. The devil's a liar. Never forget that. God always wants to hear what you have to say, even though he's not going to talk. But that does not mean that one day he's not going to talk. That's the one thing about God. You're going to be running your mouth every single day, thinking he's not hearing you, and then one day he's going to give you an answer like, what's up? What's up? Hey, you know what you been talking about. Okay? And just want to use this instance to say something very powerful. Just because you're not hearing God does not mean that. Just because God is not speaking back to you does not mean that He's not talking about you. When you read the book of Job, what I'm saying becomes very, very powerful. Job was like basically crying, like, Lord, I'm speaking to you. Speak to me. And we all go through those moments. Lord, speak to me. Why are you speaking to me? You don't love me, all that. Meanwhile, God was in heaven telling Satan, like, I'm vouching on this guy. This is my G. This is my G for life. What Job didn't know. And I believe